I wanted to make a quick follow-up video because I know in the previous one I'd kind of talked about how Workshop script had appeared in other plugins. And I'll tell you what I think that is and how I drew my conclusion. I didn't draw my conclusion until I actually looked at other available data. And this is based on not knowing what the heck VMAT is. I think I looked up some words like virtual machine, but I'm not sure exactly what it does or what the fields are in that record. But let me show you kind of like what I did. So I want to go back in, and I do need to do a plugin search. So we are going to search plugins again, because this is where it picked up in a plugin the string or substring workshop script. Now WorkshopScript.pex is not in there. I've already checked, but WorkshopScript is. So here's the form. Oh, and also it remembers where you close form. So, but yeah. But anyways, so I picked up plugins that had Workshop script in it. And I'm curious, okay, could that be the cause of the problem? Well, I don't believe it is, because in the previous video when I brought up the which mods, it actually car variety didn't even show up. So there was it couldn't, there was nothing in car variety. There's no archive, and there's nothing that was in there was nothing in the car variety mod that would have overwritten that script, because it only showed 3 occurrences of Workshop script. That was the Fallout 4 main or miscellaneous or main BSA, or the archive BA2 probably, and then it showed the unofficial patch, and then it showed Workshop framework. So those were kind of like the only occurrences that I saw. But I realized there is another way to check. There's another way to check this. For those that actually have an archives tab, so literally it just shows you the archives associated with a particular plugin. If you go to the archives tab, we're going to do it here. I actually just checked it because I was sitting there thinking, wait a minute, how can I prove that that doesn't cause a problem? So if we're over here in archives tab, we want to look up, let's look up variety. And you can see the plugins. See ESP, ESP, ESP. There, and if you look, the plugins act like a header, and then here is the archives beneath it. There are no archives associated with these plugins. And it's if I did IDEC, so okay, well, let's do it one at a time. So there are no archives associated with these plugins, and we know that in at least in Fallout 4. And I'm pretty sure in probably Skyrim Forward, where you have the resource archives, since there is no archive, there is no resource archive, there is no possibility that a script was included, and it's not. There's no loose file. The loose file script, there is none. There's none. So because we looked at that, which is the which mods, because what it does, it takes a look at the archives first, and then it shows loose last. So these plugins do not have an archive, so there's no chance they have a script. If it contained a loose script when I installed it, it would be over in the manifest, and I would be able to look it up, because this shows every file that was installed, if it was a loose file. Now I can check this just for the fun of it, because it's WorkshopScript.pex. There shouldn't be one in here. Let's see. All right. And this came from, let's see, where there's a massive mod. Where did this, I do see one. It comes from Transfer Settlements. Was that Workshop script? Yeah, no, good. Okay, so it was TS. That scared me for a minute. I thought, oh, this thing just proved me wrong. But nope, there it is. So it's TS Workshop script. And let's see, TS Workshop script. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a next. It's just F3. I'm doing next. So there, you see this right here where it's bouncing back and forth? Yeah, there is no Workshop script. So there's no loose Workshop script file installed. That's another way I can check. Or another way you can check if you have a manifest to look at. And manifests are really good, I think. But back over to the archives. There's nothing here. So I know I didn't install. I can look at the manifest and say, I know I didn't install a loose file, because it'll show up there. Everything that gets installed with this application will show up there. If you manually copy it over, it will not show up there. I could easily do it by saying, well, I couldn't do it by checking to see if the file is created, because it also creates it when you're installing files with the app, and I'd have to actually differentiate between when the app is installing, manually installing. I could check it if you drag and drop. That would be an easy way to check. And then I could include a drag and drop install in the manifest. That is possible. But over here, there is nothing. So car variety can't be affecting the script. So that there's no way that's affecting that workshop script. There's no way, if that's where the numbers are coming from. So I started thinking, well, why would it put it in there? And the only thing I can think of is maybe it put it in there because it has something to do with a settlement. It could be a dirty edit. It's possible. I don't know. I'm not sure what VMAT is. I think it's like a virtual machine or something. But let's take a look at IDEC next. So let's go over here. We're still in the Archives tab. Let's do IDK. And here's IDEC. And IDEC does have an archive. I know it's not in there because it didn't show up with a which mods, because it does scan these archives. But let's just go ahead and show the files that's in the archive. Let's just take a look. So these are all of the files that is in that BA2. And if I go in here and I do a search, make sure I spelled it right. That looks good. It's not there. I don't know, I could try just workshop. Let's try looking. Okay, there is a workshop one in here. Maybe more than one. Let's see. Nope, over here it just found one instance. So there's only one, and it is workshop fan NIF. So that's the only occurrence of anything in that BA2. So there is no workshop.pex. Again, because like I say, we did the which mods, but we're gonna verify that the data, different functions, no matter which program you're using, if different functions report the same thing, then it can only be one of a couple conditions. One, it's either it's correct. Two, they're all using the same library, and the exact same library does it wrong. Yeah, there's only like two options, I think. So good, that rules that out. So I don't know why it would have VMAT in it. I'm not sure what that record does. But yeah, that's another way to check, and that's what I wanted to look at that and think, okay, God, I could go to the Archives tab, I could take a look, and I could see, and then if it's an archive, I could try to verify, and that is another way to do it. You could edit it. I don't think I have the edit option in here in the menu. I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't. But you could actually load these files up. Like if you're doing it manually, you could load the archive up and just search for workshop, like I did with HexEd, or just load it up with HexEd and just do a search for WorkshopScript.pex, and that will tell you if it's in that archive. So there's a way to do that too. Like I say, if you're doing it manually. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of show that as a follow-up to say that, because I did mention this and I didn't really take time to think about it, and I didn't want to leave the impression that this actually was doing something with a script it shouldn't, because I have multiple points, multiple function, which we're going to call points. Multiple points report the same data. So yeah, it is definitely not that. Okay, I do have Champollion still on the list. I'm going to show how to add something really quick, but I'm not going to do it in this video. This is going to be really quick and short, kind of short and to the point, and I'll do that a little bit later. I've got to run and do something here pretty quick, but hopefully I'll be able to get it today. And I'm going to download the new version. I think it's on GitHub. I've got to pull that off, and don't think I have to recompile it. I got to take a look and see what it is. And I know I can get the one on. I'm pretty sure I can get. I know Fallout 4 has one on the Nexus. I don't know if it's the most current one. I think it's back from 2016, so I don't know if that's the most recent. GitHub might be the most recent version. I'm not sure, but I'll figure that out, and then I'll be back to do that video. And we'll kind of take a look at it together and see if we can. I remember using it once, Champollion. I don't remember. I thought it opened an interface and it showed the different script segments. I remember because I had like a little tree view, I think, or something where I could select the script segments. But I'm hoping there's a command line version to where I can easily just call that. I can put that in my own scripting and just simply call that to extract the data, and then at that point I can load the data in the workflow. I can actually do like a search on the script, and that might actually be better You know, instead of actually knowing the source scripts, Champollion would be a better way to do it, because at that point I could extract the script that I need, or it's a loose file script. I could do a CLI on it. I can do a command line where it generates the source, and then I can bring that up. That would be the best workflow to use. That would be the best flow chart type system, because that way it doesn't matter where the script comes from. If Champollion can handle it, I can generate it, and then I can bring it up and take a look at it, and then see if I can isolate the problem. And again, this is for my modded game, but you know, I couldn't really report something that is acting up if I'm not able to check it out. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that your way and kind of clear up the fact that it wasn't car variety. I don't see anything in there. I don't know what VMAD does. Maybe it accesses the workshop. Maybe that's literally saying I have to be tied in to this workshop, or there's an object I'm putting in this workshop and I need to go this route. Maybe that's what that does. I'm not sure. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of have a follow-up video and kind of clear that up.